Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Saturday the 26th of August. But first, a quick recap. Well, we had a winner. I was right about Reach. Decent winner on the day. It was idling in from. A little bit disappointed apart from that. Less than half the money back for the day. And let's move on to Saturday. To be fair, I haven't got a clue how much I've put on. It's nothing crazy. It's about 40 quid, I think. And I haven't even put all the bets on yet. I'll explain. It's nothing. I'm not hiding anything. I shall show you in a minute. So this video could get me banned. And the reason why is because I'm going to show you footage from racing TV, because this is why I fancy this horse. And I think this horse, although I'm expecting it to return at a bigger price on Saturday, but I think currently it's too short. But I believe it will get bigger, and I believe it's got a cracking chance though. So let me get into it. So the first bet is rather an odd bet, because I'll be honest, I haven't looked at the form of any of them. I didn't even look at what price they were. What I did was, they looked as though they could be each way prices. So I've had a 10p each way Canadian, and the theme is the trainer won this race last year and has a different horse in it this year. Yep, rather an odd way of having a bet, but relatively small stake. But if you don't want to bet smaller than this, put it down to the minimums if you want. So let me get into it. So the first selection, so this is a 10p each way Canadian. The first selection is Dazzling Star. Left the price in the 2:05 at Goodwood, 4 places instead of 3. The second selection is Night. Left the price, 2:40 Goodwood, first 3 I believe. Third selection is Sam Maximus. Left the price, 3:55 at Newmarket, paying 4 places instead of 3. The fourth selection is Kim and Kate in the 4:32 at Newmarket, paying 3 places instead of 2. And finally, a horse that I'm going to include in other bets is Above. I've left the price in the 5:03 race at Newmarket, paying 4 places instead of 3. Bearing in mind, this trainer, Robert Cowell, won this race last year. However, it does have the favourite in it, but this horse is very interesting. This horse has dropped quite a bit in the weights, and it's actually its first run for Robert Cowell. But it's coming from Stuart Williams, the trainer. So I always like an angle where a horse could possibly improve, and I definitely think this is one of them, especially with the trainer winning the race last year. So now, in fact, I've just seen a quick heads up. So I'm going to show you the football bet now. I've had a few football bets, but all you need to know is the teams, because I didn't actually have enough in my account when I put this for the rest of the bet. So, as you're well aware, it's over 2.5 goals treble, £6 over 2.5 goals treble, £3 over 3.5 goals treble, and £1 over 4.5 goals treble. So basically, you need to know the teams now, or the matches. So the matches are Huddersfield versus Norwich, Mansfield versus Stockport County, and Southampton versus QPR. The reason why I've had these matches is because I fancy they could be goals. 2 of the teams are scoring for fun, Southampton and Norwich, obviously different matches. And also, I have had all 3 teams, Mansfield, well, in fact, I've had Southport. I have had Southampton, Stockport, Mansfield, and Norwich to do well this season. So, unfortunately, two of the teams are playing each other. But anyway, we're talking about goals. So, the main bet of the day is, it's a 22p each way, lucky 31. And I've also had 75p each way on all of these, apart from the shortest price. So let me get into it. So the first selection is Al Sahel at 9-1 in the 3 o'clock at York, paying 4 places instead of 3. It'll love this quick round. It'll sit just off the pace, and I think it's got every chance. Second selection is Yukon Glen. I've left the price because it's a little bit stingy at the moment. In the 3:35 at York, paying 8 places instead of 7. This old boy, it generally runs well at York. It will come, hopefully it's a fast pace. It will come off the pace. And it was given a poor ride last year. I believe it was in this race. I'm not 100%. But I think it came 7th, even with a poor ride. Well, they're paying first 8. So I think, same jockey as well, Paul Mulrennan. I think it's got a decent chance. There's some decent horses in the race, but this is, It's been running against some of the more fancied horses, and I do think it's not too far off them. And it's quite a lot lower in the ratings than it was when it last ran in this race. Third selection is the most interesting one, and this is going to get me banned. Not really. Bit of a clickbait there, but so it's Al Bashir. I've left the price because I think it's a bit stingy. It's about 14s. In the 10 past 4 at York, paying 6 places instead of 4. I believe this horse hasn't wanted soft ground on its last 2 runs and wants quick ground that it'll get at York. It's drawn in the middle so it can decide which side it goes. I believe it's Holly Doyle. Right, let me just show you this. So this is the race it ran in. I'm going to show you from the beginning. This is at the Curragh in soft ground. And I'm going to try and point my mouse at the horse and I'll show you. It's a bit towards the left of the screen.
He walks, he'll be out first.
So it's just there, look.
That off over the straight, 6 furlongs plus. And the 20 runner, Paddy Power Scotty Premier Handicap, beginning well the top weight Coachello alongside is last year's runner up Big Goss, the Aussie Girl in the fighting line with Pinar Del Rio, and in between horses the end of the first furlong is Master Mad, followed by Gypsy Woman, Hispanic and Verhoy in the near side with Big Baby Bull. Continuing on in these early stages, and it's Aussie Girl the fractional leader from Big Gossy, Master Mad, over to the far side comes Shannon with Coachello and Furnace Creek, stand side Pinar Del Rio, followed by Heavenly Power and Verhoy next with Big Baby Bull, and then Hispanic and Laugh a Minute and Mayman and Blair Main. Well back is Strike Red in a colour change, now in red and royal blue. Gustavus Weston is pushed along. At the rear is Al Bashir, Hurricane Ivor and No More Porter is last. They're very tightly grouped, racing towards the final couple of furlongs, and it's Aussie Girl who's come across to the stands rail the lead, followed by Al Bashir, who cuts through the field the extreme far side, then Big Gossy and Coop Shannon and Mayman and Laugh a Minute and Heavenly Power. Bursting lane is Strike Red, and then No More Porter from last. Inside the final 150 yards, Aussie Girl from Strike Red at stage 2. Strike Red has cut them all down in the Paddy Power Scotty. Aussie Girl second, then Laugh a Minute, No More Porter and Heavenly Power.
I was equally impressed because it ran behind another horse called Significantly. Significantly didn't win the race, but we was on it that day. So
about ready. No Summergand, and they're away on the extreme left of Phelios, and one of them is unseated, leaving the starting stalls. And that looked to be Rumstar. Rumstar has been unseated, leaving the stalls. Aphelios on the far side showing good speed. Also over on the far side, Vintage Claret, the loose horse preceding them over there. Showing speed is Watcher, and also Mr. Wagyu on that far side. Chasing them hard then on the far side is the favourite Orazio, who's just joining into the centre group now. On the stand side it's Significantly from Apollo 1, then Bielsa and Sterling Knight and Battery, just behind Good Earth, Jean Le Pan in the red cap, and then chairman of the board as they race on down towards the final couple of furlongs then. Hard to say what's in front. Well, the loose horse is the one that's leading. Apollo 1 coming through on the stand side to lead now, heading Significantly. Down the centre is Aberama Gold with Mr. Wagyu. On the far side, Orazio is coming through a bit now. Right on the far rail is Aphelios. Also running a big race is Elise Dancer, and it's Aberama Gold in the centre that may lead. Elise Dancer on the far side, Apollo 1 on the near side, and then Mr. Wagyu as they race up towards the line. Aberama Gold from Apollo 1, and Aberama Gold has won the Stewards Cup from in second Apollo 1. Tight for third, Mr. Wagyu possibly.
It'll have a much better chance tomorrow. Anyway, that round worked, weren't it? So the next selection is Cover Point, 4:45 at York, 4 places instead of 3. This horse is trained by William Haggis. He's had a crack in York. The owners is the Bronte Collection, or Bronte Collection 1. They've also got some other runners, and they've got 2 runners in this race. Originally, I was going to tip the other one, the Carl Burke one, but I think the amount of progress it's shown from its first run when it was favourite to its second run, it disappointed on its first run, even though it was 4-1 favourite, this horse did. It did something like a 57 rating on the Racing Post rating. Then it did an 88, and I think if you can head anywhere towards 100, you cannot kick this horse out the first 4 if it's similar kind of improvement. When this horse was beat last time, when it finished second, it looked like it had won the race, but when they turned the angle around, it hadn't. It's got a cracking chance, and Daniel Tudor once again rides this horse. So I'm quite interested in the fact that he isn't riding the other horse. But I've just thought it's Clifford Lee riding the other horse, which is trained by Cole Burke, and he generally rides his horses. So yeah, welcome to a live live recording, no editing. And the final selection is a horse that should have won for us in the past. It was given a shocking ride. This time, Tom Markman's on it. So the horse is Gassy. I've read the price. It's about 92. And this horse, I haven't backed it single because 92, I don't fancy 75p each way at 92. In the 520 at York, paying 6 places instead of 4. The next bet is another football bet. So these are matches where there could be quite a lot at stake. It's a £1.25 win Trixie, and it's a sending off Trixie. So it's a double and a treble. So it's a player to get sent off in the matches. Bearing in mind, Stockport are known for getting regular red cards, although they were last season. Mansfield have got a player called Stephen Quinn. He could get sent off in his front room. It's like, is that feisty? It's unbelievable. It's always at the centre of any kind of niggle. Well, this is an important match for both teams. So, so a player to be sent off 3-1 in this Mansfield and Stockport County match. Once again, same kind of things go with Bradford. Bradford regularly get one sent off. They're up against Crewe. Bradford have started the season really badly. Imagine if they went 2 goals down, I think it could get a bit feisty. I'm not saying they will, but I'm saying it could get feisty there. And Notts County versus Tranmere, very interesting. It's a short price, 11-4. And I do believe this could be a feisty encounter as well. So, yeah, that's a fiver bet. If all 3 come in, £132.50 return. You only need one player to get sent off in each match. Right, here are all these 75p each way singles, which I've told you about already. Right, this is what I've had now. I've had each way doubles and each way trebles. So I've gone for pretty much the main 2 races of the day. Sorry. I've gone for 3 races, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. So 25 pence each way doubles and 14 pence each way trebles. So I've gone for more than one selection in each race. So in the 25p each way doubles and 14p each way trebles, the first race is the 3:35 at York, and I've gone for Get Shirty at 14-1, Yukon Glen at 25-1, and Scriptwriter at 10-1. So they're in the E-ball. I've had them in each way doubles and trebles with Mr. Wagyu at 9-1. Ran a cracker in Albashire's race. Albashire again at 14-1, and Tactical at 25-1 in the 10-4 at York. I think every single run this horse has ran so far since it switched to, Julie Camacho. Since it came back from a long absence, I think it's absolutely hated the ground. And it was unusually much shorter price than I expected last time when it ran, I believe, in the Stewards Cup. It's also the same ownership as Significantly, which I tipped up last time. I think personally Significantly has got a brilliant chance in this race, but I think the ground's too quick for it. That's my only concern. Otherwise, it could have been my nap of the day, but it wants good ground, good to soft, heavy ground. Significantly does, and I'm not convinced. I could be made to look very stupid. I'm not convinced it wants good to firm ground. So that's why. That's not why, but I've gone for Tactical, not because it's in the same ownership, but it's interesting that it is. But I've gone for Tactical because it's the first time it's encountered really quick ground, and I think you could see, because it used to be a very good horse. I believe it was for Owen Burrows as a 2-year-old. Then a 3-year-old, it only ran a couple of times. Ran okay, nothing special. And then it had a long absence, and then, I do believe this is the horse I'm talking about. This is all from memory. And then it had a quite long absence and went to Judy Camacho. So that's Tactical at 25-1. So I did say trebles. So the final selection in this bet is above at 9-1 in the 3 minutes past 5 at Newmarket, paying 4 places instead of 3. And I think that's it. Hang on, I could be wrong. Sure, there can't be any more bets. Click like if you think I've got a problem. Click like if you're still here. Right. These are the anti-post bets that I've had. This is reverse forecast doubles. So this is why I'm shouted on Leicester, Southampton and Norwich, and also Stockport, Wrexham and Mansfield. Some very tasty prices there. So I've gone on long enough. So I am still to put on the over 2.5 and over 3.5 goals bet. But you've seen all my bets, so you can give me a like or give me a, come on Charlie, wrap it up, just to prove that you've watched all of the video. We're 15 minutes in, it's my longest video. Please give me a like. Anyway, best of luck. No video Saturday night for Sunday. And guess what? I'm off next week, so I'll be having a real good study. Give me a like for that as well. I'm begging for likes. Best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.